New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, hello there. Greetings across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and yes, guaranteed exciting edition of the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I am Reverend Michael Mangus. I am broadcasting this evening from the Charles Fillmore secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts in an extremely secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret, only one person knows where the top secret bunker is located. Everyone else does not have security clearance, especially that Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who is in Las Vegas with Laura, his beautiful wife, gambling. No, they're at a conference. Well, hi there. Good evening. Welcome. We do have a wonderful show for you this evening. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comment either on Facebook or on YouTube. And again, all my shy people out there, yeah, I know you say, well, I don't want to put my name up there and get into trouble with home office. I understand. All you need to do is to send me an email, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. And again, if there's a news story that you would like us to cover, again, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. So the purpose of our weekly get-together is to get our beverage, alcoholic or not. Now, Jeff doesn't want anyone to know this, but his is alcoholic, okay? But what we do here is we sit by the fireplace, put on another log, and talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And I know that many people are saying, well, I don't want to talk about the news. I don't want to talk about current events. Well, I understand, and that this is the time that is not a good time to stick your head in the sand. This is a wonderful time for spiritual growth, if you allow it. Again, as I've said before, either you let the fire purify you or burn you. So it is my hope that you let whatever is going on in the world inspire you to your greatness, inspire you to use your power. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, at great expense to the New Thought Media Network. We have Divine Science Minister all the way from the great state of Tennessee, formerly of the great state of West Virginia. We have this
greater state.
What now?
The even greater state.
The even greater state, ladies and gentlemen.
Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
I'm loving it.
Now, who else has a jingle?
Not like that.
Huh?
Nobody's got one like that.
Nobody else.
That's mine.
Well, once again, the reason we're all here is not for the fireside chat. That is secondary to the world famous and ever popular Reverend Jeff's story of the week. And this week, it is not a story.
No.
But it is a commentary. Now, legal wanted me to read this. All right. The views and opinions expressed by Reverend Radcliff are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, the Divine Science Association and or Ministers Association, or anyone else living or dead. Thank you. Do you think that covers it?
All me, baby. All me. It's all mine.
Well, are the temperatures getting cooler where you are at? Are you experiencing?
Oh, hell no. It's starting to ramp up again. We went through a couple of week period where it was really nice and pleasant out. And the past couple of days, it's been up in the 90s, low 90s. So yeah, it's ramping up again.
Wow. Well, the leaves are changing around here.
Ours
and the temperatures. Dying. What now?
Ours are dying. It's so dry here. Good. We've got maybe 12 hours worth of rain in the past month.
Well, you may have to go outside in your medicine man outfit and do your rain dance.
Maybe we can get that idiot that went to DC with the horns and. You know.
You think he would come out and do a dance for us? Were you guys in Tennessee?
I wouldn't mind.
Well,
I mean, he's an idiot, but he's cute, and I imagine he could bring something down out of the sky. Knowing him, it would probably be a lightning bolt.
Well, again, fall is a time for change, and I believe a time for growth. And it's one of my favorite seasons. So, but happy birthday to the spiritual director of Summit CSL, Diana Mangus, who will turn the big 65 on the 15th.
Why are you saying how old she is? That's so rude.
Well, she is.
She's obviously not listening, or she'd have let you have it by now.
Well, if
she'd have come in there and she'd have just.
If the door just suddenly comes open, you'll know why. Happy birthday, Diana.
Let me text her real quick.
Don't.
Happy birthday, Diana. We love you.
We love you. Yes, we do.
Some of us love you more than others because some of us would never have ever disclosed.
Well, this is the big birthday, the big Medicare month.
Oh, that's what it is, huh?
Where you have to, you change over at the beginning of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take a deep breath in, inhale, exhale, ladies and gentlemen, and now the news.
Picture Les Nessman.
Now, what
is the Buckeye Newshawk Award?
Is it the Buckeye Newshawk Award?
Yeah, remember
Okay,
that?
well, was he the three-time winner?
Something like that.
Something like that.
It was a mercy pick, yeah.
All right, let's get to the news here. We're catching up on the major details here. Authorities revealed after the arrest of the suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination. Authorities have taken the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing. His name is Tyler Robinson, into custody. They announced this morning. With that, they offered major details on how the search unfolded and how they gathered evidence. The 22-year-old grew up in the suburban community of Washington, Utah, and was a high-achieving student. He had no party affiliation, and he did not vote in the two most recent elections. Robinson had become more political in the past few years and had lashed out at Kirk. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said today, a family member of Robinson reached out to a family friend who then contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with the information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. Robinson was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time on, I think it was Thursday, 33 hours after Kirk's killing, FBI Director Kash Patel said. What is known about the weapon, investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel. The casings found with the rifle were engraved with inscriptions that included the words, "Hey, fascist, catch." Boy, isn't that interesting? Federal prosecutors are evaluating possible charges that they could bring against the suspect in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Two sources familiar with the matter tell CNN. And Tyler Robinson is currently being held at the Utah County Jail without bail on multiple initial state charges, including murder. President DT said in an interview this morning that he hopes that the suspected shooter will get the death penalty. Utah Governor Spencer Cox had also said that state officials will also pursue the death penalty in this case.
Interestingly enough, I did a little bit of research on this. First of all, you mentioned that, what's his name? Tyler Robinson?
Tyler Robinson, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. In one ear and out the other. He has no political affiliation. However, he grew up in a Republican household.
Right.
Okay. And he is in a red state.
Yes.
All the things that I've read from the MAGA supporters and the far right people of the president keep talking about how it had to have been a liberal Democrat.
Right.
Because of course we have like no morals whatsoever, and we'll kill you at the drop of a hat.
Oh, of course.
So
we're the enemy.
Yeah, of course. So, to find out
satanic even.
Isn't that ironic that this is a kid who grew up in a Republican household in a red state who really has no political affiliation one way or the other, hasn't voted in the past couple of elections, but yet they want to blame it on those radical left lunatics or whatever.
Yeah, and they want to go to war.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
That's again. So my prayers are with his widow and two children.
Now here's the thing.
And for the record, I have never been a big fan of Charlie Kirk. He was a leader of the Christian nationalist movement here in the U.S., with much of his speech being unchristian and extremely hateful. Again, that's my opinion. However, we live in America with one of our constitutional rights being that of free speech to a point. You can't go be yelling fire in a crowded theater and there be no fire, defined by the courts. Now, his assassination was plainly wrong. Everyone that I know on social media who is of a liberal bent have condemned this assassination. They all have done that. As much as I did not like Kirk, murder is not the way to solve political problems. Again, this viewpoint I conveyed to my Trump MAGA supporting friends on Facebook. Now, the reason I commented was because is to show that the radical left that some MAGAs have declared war over and said to be pure evil. This woman said on Facebook that the Democratic Party is satanic and should be gotten rid of. It wasn't true about me. Violence against our so-called enemies continue to be the rhetoric spouted by the right-wing media, fueled by conservative radio. It's not all Fox News. It's people listening to Sean Hannity all day. It's people listening to Glenn Beck. It's people listening to those individuals who have their niche audience and make money for the radio stations that they're on.
Yeah.
Your comment, Reverend Jeff.
Well, like you, I was no fan of Charlie Kirk's. To be honest, I knew who he was and I knew what he stood for, but he was so far off my radar, I really didn't give a shit whether he was there or not.
Right.
So I've seen the video, the actual footage of the assassination. That was horrific. As much as I despised the man and what he stood for, he didn't deserve to die for it.
Absolutely not.
None of us, no matter what our political leaning, no matter what our ideology, we do live in a country with free speech, and he did not deserve to die for that. On the other hand, when you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And he put out some pretty horrific rhetoric. And, whether you want to believe in karma or it's just, and karma is just the law of cause and effect anyway.
Right.
But what you put out there, you're going to receive. And,
all right.
And that is unfortunate that he's leaving a wife and 2 little children behind. But his commentary is the world will not miss the world will not miss his opinion.
Okay, so let me challenge that. All right, so Jesus Christ was assassinated.
Well,
that was a political killing.
Yeah, exactly.
Martin Luther King, the Kennedy brothers, Mahatma Gandhi,
Abraham Lincoln,
Dr. King. Now, did their karma get them killed? I think what got, and again, the reason
now you're starting to move into the whole past life thing and yada yada yada.
Well, no, I don't want to get into
that's pertinent.
I don't want to get into the past life stuff. I'm just saying that I think that there's more than just you cited a Bible passage this week on your Facebook page. I think it was Ephesians 6:7. And if you could quote it for everyone, please.
Yeah, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right. And so, and that I think Paul was talking about, again, our lifestyle, about how we should live our lives as believers, Christians, whatever that you want to say. I just think that, again, my opinion is that we have to be really careful about this whole idea of karma, especially with like people like Charlie Kirk. And again, there have been people killed, not because of their karma, but because of what they have said or stood up for. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that could very well have been part of their karma. Abraham Lincoln. It's known that Abraham Lincoln, although he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, he was wanting to preserve the Union, and if that meant preserving slavery, he was kind of reluctantly okay with that. But the way that he presented some of his ideas ended up pissing off the wrong person, and John Wilkes Booth got him. You know,
So
the same thing could be said for whatever. Kennedy. I mean, anybody can say something that's going to not sit well with someone else out there, and if it doesn't sit well with the right person, or in this case, the wrong person, that puts a target on your back. So,
well, and again, that's
it's because it's just the cause and effect. They said something that created a cause that somebody else, acted on. It's
now I'm not defending Charlie Kirk, and again, the article that I'm about to. Yeah, I'm not going to defend the man,
and I'm not going to defend Tyler Robinson either, because that's indefensible.
Right. Well,
took a human life. That's indefensible.
Right. So this is the gentleman there. This is Pastor John Pavlovich. Pastor John is a liberal pastor, and he went ahead and he wrote this on his Substack. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you're interested, please consult Pastor John's Substack. It says the shameful Christian idolatry and fraudulent martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. Have you noticed again in the news individuals trying to make Charlie Kirk an American martyr?
As a matter of fact, I thought I heard Trump use that particular word, martyr.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to read just part of this and again, get your comments. As the news of his shooting broke, the Jesus washing of Charlie Kirk's life by conservative Christians began almost immediately. Pastor John says, my social media feed quickly flooded with urgent pleas of protection made by religious people for supporting a warrior of Christ and a devoted man of God. A pastor I once partnered with posted an emotional video calling Kirk a man who loved the Lord, stand on his morals and traditional values of the Bible, and believed in Jesus and is a follower of Christ. And within minutes of Kirk's death, announced a public prayer vigil to pray for Charlie Kirk's family and for revival to come to the nation. As with every passing second since his reprehensible killing, the right has worked tirelessly to turn Kirk into a modern-day martyr, a supposed unabashed lover of Jesus whose brutal murder proved that he lived and died for the Lord, violently taken by that godless left and crystallizing the righteousness of the MAGA movement. Now, this is some of the things that Kirk said during his lifetime. Kirk had claimed that passing the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a huge mistake that now has become an anti-white weapon. During a September 2024 episode of the debate show Surrounded, Kirk stated that even if his 10-year-old daughter became pregnant due to rape, she would be forced to carry the baby to term. On March 2024, Kirk said on his show, The Great Replacement Strategy, which is well underway every single day in our southern border, is a strategy to replace white rural Americans with something different. I could go on and on and on. And here's the last one. And though Jesus's life and ministry overflowed with compassion for the poor, the sick, the vulnerable. Kirk recently said, I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. I'm wondering when he read the last time his New Testament.
I'm guessing it's been a while.
So again, this is Pastor John. He says, I'm left to wonder and to ask professed Christians, elevating Charlie Kirk as to some hero of their faith, these questions. Is this what you think followers of Jesus do? Is this what Christianity is to you? How can you call any of this Christ-like? As someone MAGA Christians see as godless, sinful heathen, I'm sure that they will choose not to thoroughly consider what I have shared, but that won't change what is. The article goes on here, but the one thing that he ended with is that Charlie Kirk's murder is a despicable, vile, fully condemnable act, but that doesn't erase the harm that he has done to people of color, to women, to immigrants, to queer people, as well as to the minds of young conservative white men. And no Jesus washing. Reality covering revisionist history from MAGA Christians and Republican politicians will cover the reality that the compassionate, kind, neighbor-loving, diversity-embracing, and foreigner-welcoming teachings of Jesus are fully to the cause of divisive and dehumanizing empire that Kirk built. Again, that he said that Charlie Kirk was a human being, a husband, a father, a leader to a movement, a very good communicator, and his murder was an act of unconscionable barbarism. But conservative Christians need to stop pretending that he was doing God's work here, because Kirk's actual words and the actual words of Jesus are compelling testimony that he wasn't. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Exactly. What he said. How can you add to that?
So I'm getting my hair cut yesterday. And again, I do not argue with women who have scissors in their hand.
Of course you don't.
No, because you may end up in the morgue. The one thing that my Trump supporting hair designer said was, she says, well, at least Charlie's in heaven with the Lord.
Oh.
So I said to her, I said, well, yes, and I hope Jesus takes him aside and has a few words with him.
Did you really? Did you really?
You what? Yes, I did.
Oh.
And she didn't slit my throat either.
What'd she say, though? Because, those fighting words.
Well, no, I just went ahead and just said that, she didn't say anything. Again, we tend to be, we disagree, but we try to be kind about it with each other. That we agree to disagree. So
I'm going to put myself out there, and a lot of people are going to disagree with that, and I may lose some of followers of my own, but I'll say this. Some of the MAGA people that I know personally are nice people.
Yes.
In many ways. I mean, I've seen parents acting lovingly with their children and then turn around and put on a red hat and spew some of the most hateful, vile stuff I've ever heard. We all run the gamut, human beings being who we are, we're all over the place.
Oh,
So I'm
absolutely.
sure, I'm sure that she's a nice person, your haircut lady.
Right.
The other people, and they know that some of the stuff that he put out, some of the stuff that Trump says, some of the stuff that JD Vance says, and some of the other ones, they may not all totally agree with it, you know, but they keep themselves quiet because they don't want to rock the boat or whatever. I just have to wonder how many people out there. Uh, I mean, the Charlie Kirk supporters have been very vocal the past 24, 48
Oh,
hours.
absolutely.
But what about some of the other right wingers who not quite that far out on a limb? They're saying pretty quiet about this.
Yes.
You
And I
know,
want to,
they have their moments where they can be very sweet and loving people,
absolutely.
and then they have their moments where they're not. But then so do I. So does everybody else on our side. We have our moments too.
So I want to bring Tim into the conversation. He says it's simply stunning, unnerving, and also frightening how crazy many in our society have become.
Yeah.
And the latest that I heard about the shooter was that he may have thought that Kirk wasn't conservative enough.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
No, that's a new one. So again, we don't know what this gentleman's motives were.
No.
However, that what we are saying this evening is that killing others for their political beliefs,
Unacceptable.
it doesn't help the
Mm-mm.
cause here.
Not at
It
all.
does not help the cause. And I really encourage everyone, again, to pray for Charlie Kirk's family, for his widow, for his two daughters, to pray for peace and love, and to come from a place of love, especially with your MAGA Republican friends. It does not do a bit of good getting into a big argument with them. So what I do is the stuff that we agree upon, I put up and post. So again, that they can see that at least one liberal is not batshit crazy. Now, other people say that I'm batshit crazy. Just to ask Robert Brzezinski.
Oh, we don't need to ask Robert. We see it for ourselves.
All right. Well, it's time for a break. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a very special commentary during Reverend Jeff's Story of the Week. It's going to be very interesting. Now, legal told me to tell you that you are allowed up to 5 F-bombs again this week.
I thought you told me 7. I'm not going to.
No, it said no. The email said 5. It gave you the same amount, which was the maximum that they gave you last week. So
Yeah, well, I'm probably not going to use any of them. Or maybe one, maybe only one. If
all right. Well, anyhow, let's take a quick break here and let you know. Hi there. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. Good to see everyone this evening. And we would like to tell you and invite you to our Sunday service at Summit CSL. For more information, you can join us at summitcsl.org. There you can find the Zoom link and also the password. Please join us. We have a great hour service. And this Sunday, unless Jeff wants to do it, we will have a talk by New Thought Media Network superstar and the Vice President of Programming the Reverend Michael Mangus. Unless Jeff wants to do it. So go to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join our Zoom call. Again, it's a wonderful hour. You can bring your cup of coffee and come in your jammies if you want and just enjoy the service. Again, summitcsl.org. Get all the information for our Zoom link for our service on Sunday. All right. Time for us to take a quick break, and then we will be right back with more. Again, the Friday evening fireside chat here on your New Thought Media Network.
Well, hello there. This is Dr. Sydney Steen. I am the senior minister and spiritual leader of the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We are a oneness center for spiritual living. And I just want to invite you to something that I think is really, really special. In October, from the 6th to the 10th, at Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri, the affiliated New Thought Network will be hosting the most wonderful retreat. This will serve your soul. It will lift your heart. And oh my goodness, I want to call it an advance. So come hear wonderful speakers like Martha Creek, Sonny Cantrell, and the music will be off the hook with Ricky Byers. There will be so much there to support your soul. I hope that you will join us. You can go to antn.org. That's antn.org. You can get all the information. You can sign up. You can use a credit card, and it is safe and secure, and I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And because I do my own producing, sometimes things screw up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for that award-winning part of our program with our wonderful friend. This is...
Now here's Reverend Jeff Radcliff with the story of the week.
I think I'm going to probably end up having to use one of those F-bombs because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing tonight.
He's already used one, legal.
There's one, so I've got 4 left. Okay. Here's the thing. I had this vague idea of what I wanted to talk about tonight. And I can't seem to pull together my thoughts in a coherent manner. Here's the thing. Michael and I come over into your homes via the YouTube thing, by the Fireside chat, to talk about news that's going on in the world and try to put an understanding of spirituality into it. We try to look at it from a New Thought perspective. And one of the ways that we do that is just by chatting with each other, talking it out, like we've been doing. One of the respites is my story of the week, and there's a reason behind. There's a method to the madness. Okay, I try to bring to you something that is going to be a little on the more light side, because we've been talking about, shit has been heavy for a long time. And so to try to bring you something a little lighter, a little more refreshing, it kind of reminds me of the biblical passages that talked about Jesus, who took time away, pulled back from the crowds, went off by himself to pray and meditate, because even he who was probably the most spiritually enlightened person needed time to recharge his spiritual batteries and to make connection with that inner divinity. And so that's what my vision of Story of the Week is about, is to help us to pull back a little bit, just so that we can take a breather from all this really intense and heavy news that's going on. And it doesn't look like it's going to lighten up anytime soon. We've got a midterm election coming up. We just had the assassination of a right-wing political pundit. We've got ICE troops going into cities across the country with nebulous ideas about what they're supposed to be doing. They have no clue what they're doing. They're just being sent there for whatever reason. It's all this is heavy stuff. We need to take a break. It reminds me of the scene in Steel Magnolias, the movie, where in the cemetery, Sally Field is freaking out. And so what does Olympia Dukakis do? Invites her to slap the crap out of Shirley MacLaine, which would be pretty cool. And Shirley MacLaine's character gets mad, and Olympia Dukakis' character says, things were getting entirely too serious. We needed to laugh. So that's what we need to do. We need to pull back once in a while. That is why I really, really recommend that people take a few minutes every day, even if it's not 20 minutes twice a day or whatever. Just take 5 minutes just to calm down, to just focus on your breathing, just relax and let your mind go. Kind of like what Emmett Fox said with his writing The Golden Key. When you've got a problem, forget about the problem for a while. Just focus on what God is. Focus on spirit. That's what we're trying to do here with my Story of the Week. And I hope you take it to heart. Take it to heart to just take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Just sit and relax and let the world go away for a little while so that you can connect with spirit within. Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
And even Lily has a few comments here.
Yeah.
She's not happy at all.
No, we I went to close the front door a little bit, and I peeked outside before I did, because it got dark here really quick, and a moth flew in. And so yeah, she sees the moth. He's up there on the ceiling, and she's like not happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Reverend Jeff's Story of the Week.
Or at least my commentary of the week.
Or at least your commentary. Okay.
Yeah. And I
got a couple good ones here to end our program with.
Uh-oh. Am I going to... Now, were my F-bombs relegated only to the Story of the Week, or is it for the whole show?
You can, you used one, and so you have 4 more to go. Lily, it's okay, honey. The moth is not going to eat you.
Lily, honey, come here, baby. Come here. You leave that poor baby alone. Leave that moth alone. She went to this. She had another spa day yesterday, and she was really good. And she came back looking sweet and perfect and beautiful. And one of these days, I'll be able to pick her up and hold her up again, and you can see her.
Right. Well, a far-right pastor.
Oh, God, you're going to make me use all my F-bombs, aren't you?
Opened his mouth. And he says it is a failure of parental duty not to tell kids to avoid black people. Far-right Christian nationalist pastor Joel Webbin proclaimed in a recent speech captured by the People for the American Way Right Wing Watch that white parents must instruct their children to fear and not to interact with Black people. And that any parent who teaches children to be loving and accepting of all races is feeding them a lie that could put their lives in danger. Webben said this. He says, if you're a Christian white parent who loves the Lord and loves your children, you need to have the talk. And the talk that we're referencing is the talk that takes your children according to their maturity at the proper time, the appropriate time, and says there are certain parts of town that you cannot go. And there are certain people that you cannot be around. Now, if there's someone who is Black in our church, and they've been in our church, and we know them, and they love the Lord Jesus Christ, great. We're not talking about that person, but we're talking about when you go into a crowd of people, when you go into a crowd of strangers, and they're white strangers, there's some danger. If they're Black strangers, there's 30 times more danger. Them, the facts. Oh my. Christian nationalism is an extreme political movement beyond mere belief in Jesus Christ that holds that the United States was designated to be and must be subordinate under the interpretation of biblical law. Central to their belief is the Seven Mountain Mandate, which says that Christians, or at least their specified flavor of Christians, must take command of the 7 supporting pillars of control within society. Your comment, Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
I need to go into my address book to see if I know somebody who knows Octavia Spencer, so that we can deliver a pie to that man's front door. Because he's so full of it. I can't believe that he did that. He obviously does not know who Jane Elliott is. Do you know who Jane Elliott is?
No, I don't.
Jane Elliott is a teacher. She's retired now, but she was a public school teacher, and she taught her children back in the 60s that there was only one race, which is the human race, and she's right.
Yes.
I guess the fact of the matter escapes this preacher guy that we're all the same on the inside. The only reason the outside is different is because of where we were born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
And the level of light that was there and how we adapted over time to deal with the level of light coming from the sun. That's it. Race was never an issue in the ancient world. Race was never an issue the last 500 years in past. It's only within the last 400 years that race has been an issue in the consciousness of what we would call white people. So
the only reason I bring up this story is to show the thought that's still out there, that there are people on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday evenings and during Bible study hearing stuff like this.
Yeah. And what you said, that you quoted him saying, well, if we got somebody who's Black in our congregation who's been here a while, they're okay. In other words, they're one of the good ones. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Folks, racism takes on all kinds of forms. And again, the reason I pointed that out is because, again, it's blatant. But this is the thought that's out there.
Yeah.
This is part of, again, the Christian nationalist movement that we were talking about with Charlie Kirk. This is part of it.
Yes, it is.
That there is racism in that movement. So we're pointing that out here. And again, just to make you aware. But I have one more just for you, Jeff.
Okay. How many
What?
F-bombs? Because mentally I used 3 during that story.
Okay.
But I
But
didn't
if
say
you
them, so
didn't
I
say them
forgot.
out loud.
Yeah.
Okay. Since I know that you are Metacostal, you're metaphysical and Pentecostal.
Well, yeah, kind of sort of.
Okay.
Here we go.
I have a story for you.
Hey, it's my
Pastor
bro.
says that Jesus told him and him alone that he will return to earth this month. One pastor's viral vision has believers walking on water in anticipation. A South African pastor recently claimed that Jesus could be making a return on September 23rd. So, Jeff, clear your calendar. Okay.
What day is that?
That is the day of the Feast of Trumpets, ringing in the rapture and judgment day.
Okay, so we've got a week and a half because that's on a Tuesday.
Right.
Oh, shit. That doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Could you reschedule? Maybe make a different day? Give a guy a break, all right? Criminy.
Okay. In
Come
a
on, Mr.
viral
Jesus.
YouTube video, Pastor Joshua Michaelia claims that he saw Jesus in a divine vision returning to earth during this year's Rosh Hashanah, a date some Christians are already linking to prophecy. The pastor said the rapture is upon us, whether you're ready or not, he said during a recent interview.
Oh my God. All of a sudden I just caught this vision of Jesus going, ready or not, here I come.
Here I come. I saw Jesus sitting on his throne, and I could hear him very loud and clear saying,
You got any paper over there?
What now?
He's on his throne. You got any paper over there? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. South African pastor, you're so full of your eyes are brown. All right.
No, okay. There's more. There's more.
There can't be any more. I mean,
there is more. The pastor added, he said to me that on the 23rd and the 24th of September 2025, I will come back to earth. So beneath the YouTube video, many commentators also seem convinced that the pastor was on to something. Wrote one, my 10-year-old daughter dreamt of the rapture yesterday. Wow. I can read people, and Joshua is 100% telling the truth. I never even listened to videos claiming visions, but God told me to watch this one. And someone else replied, I choose to be ready spiritually for Jesus's return because nobody knows the date or the time.
Thank you. I was going to bring up that same point. Nobody knows. The fact of the matter is that we as metaphysicians believe that the second coming takes place each time we remember and realize our inner divinity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And okay, this is good. One other agreed. It says it's better to be on the safe side than sorry, rather than argue. Let's stay watchful and keep ourselves ready. Only God knows the hour. Amen. Last month, I also had a vision. I dreamt I was dreaming. And the Lord appeared telling me that he's coming soon. And so
I'm just waiting for the dinosaurs to come back, because would that be a raptor?
I think it's different.
Oh, okay.
All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with this, the rapture is a recent concept in Christian end time lore, and it promises believers a fast track getaway from 7 years of chaos and doom known as the tribulation before Jesus returns to set up paradise. Now, even within that there's different connotations of that. There's different beliefs that say, well, no, we're not, we're pre-trib, we're post-trib.
Yeah.
So
I choose to think that the Trump administration is our tribulation, and maybe Jesus will come back, but we should have seen him before Trump showed up. That's
well,
all.
okay, a little bit more.
I was a pre-tribber, all right.
Despite the hype, both the faithful and the doubters warn that there is no telling the day or hour. It's reported by the Daily Mail. This means that Jesus likely isn't RSVPing in advance. But could the signs be here already? Let's see here. Let me just hold on here. That's another cool picture of Jesus. But here's the sign.
Oh my!
Earthlings got a front row seat to a blood moon this week, as the full moon turned an spooky apocalyptic red, just like in Joel 2:28-31 warned. It says, the sun shall turn to darkness and the moon to blood before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. Red moon rising, whether a cosmic signal or a biblical deja vu, the skies had everyone talking end times this week. And astronomical models suggest that a lunar eclipse turned the moon red over Jerusalem on Friday, April 3rd, 33 AD, the date that many scholars link to Jesus's death. And that eerie sky, just like from Matthew 27:45, it says, from noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over the land. Ultimately, whether September 23rd brings the rapture or not, or it's just another Tuesday, it's safe to say that many followers of Christ are already checking the sky and their calendar.
All I know is I got shit to do that day.
Okay, well, you mean Jesus is going to have to reschedule?
I put in my request. You saw me.
I know. Okay, well.
Okay, here's the thing though, and we need to get a little serious here.
Okay,
we're having fun with this because it's just so absurd. We have to remember that these are expressions of divinity, just like the rest of everybody. The way they're expressing their divinity is theirs, and we can't down them because of that, because we're one with them.
Right.
We don't have to. That doesn't say that we have to agree with them. That doesn't even say that we have to take them seriously.
Right.
And we don't. But we do need to recognize their innate divinity, because we are one with them, and we cannot let it be, let it escape our attention that they are still the children of God that we are.
So end time theory is called eschatology. And that, so metaphysically, that we believe, or most people believe, again, that Jesus is returning as the Christ consciousness within each person.
Right.
And so that's the whole idea of that Ernest Holmes talked about is give me 1,000 people who really practice the science of mind and spirit, and I'll show you a change on the planet. So that the reason we point this out is because both myself and Jeff, we came from backgrounds like this, expecting the rapture any day. And the thing is that taken in symbology means, again, the awakening of the Christ within each and every one of us. So any further comments, Reverend Jeff, before we go?
I'm going to get in trouble for this one. I just know it. Study the end times, eschatology. It's no secret, or wait, it should come as no surprise that within that word is the word scat, which means crap. And with that,
You
I will
don't
say
now.
no more.
Now, well, we have sent all the
Eschatology, get it?
we have sent all the seminary professors.
Oh my God!
We have put them
Heads
into
have
flames this
exploded all
evening.
over, haven't they?
Yeah,
Oh my
Jeff,
God!
thank you. I know that this has been an interesting week, so thank you for being on this evening and sharing.
Absolutely.
And again, that to
When the
let
hell else
everyone
would I
know,
do?
yes. Listen, it's probably going to get a little darker before it gets a little lighter. However, that light is within you. It's not out there.
Exactly.
So that I believe that I am called as a spiritual being who is aware to shine my light to the world. And again, whether I receive it back or not, it doesn't matter. Is that I am to shine my light. And so that's what I'm encouraging every one of you to do, is to shine your light, is to do like the master teacher Jesus says, and that is when they hate, show love. That's from the prayer of St. Francis. So again, to do that, to do the spiritual opposite of hate, which is love. Jeff, any other final words before we go?
Just pray for peace, people. Pray for peace within yourself. Pray for it within yourself, because what you have within you, you can bring out, and it will spread.
All right. Well, I got to get on the phone here and talk to the Lord, and because you can't do the 23rd, so I'm going to have to make some other arrangements here.
All right.
So
that would be good. That would be good. And,
is there any day that week that would be better?
Let me pull up the calendar real quick. Yeah, the next day, the 24th. No,
Okay.
Make it the 25th. Make it the 25th. I don't have anything going on the 25th.
Okay. Well, I'll you know me. I know people.
Okay.
I have the hotline.
Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want.
Tell them what you want. That's right.
Right.
That's a
that Pentecostal dies hard.
Thank you, Jeff, and folks. We're all out of time. Again, thank you so very much for joining us this evening. And again, I know that this week has been interesting, and that we may have a few more interesting weeks here coming up. But know that you are totally loved. That no matter what is going on outside, is that you can have the peace that passes all understanding, and that again, to let whatever is going on in the world, to allow it to bring out your magnificence, your power. All right. Well, time for us to go, and I'm going to wish you all a very pleasant good night, sweet dreams, and we will see you sometime next week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.